you ever find your turrets lacking power while you're busy fighting off those pesky raiders, then my goodness do we have a solution for you. Say hello to BunkerTec's Bunker 101, where we produce clean and green energy to supply all of your energy needs. We use our state-of-the-art wireless power network machines, powered by our Master Cycler 3000, run by ethically sourced clones of famed entrepreneur Martimer Goth himself. Say goodbye to all of your problems, and say hello to the future of energy.
Hello there and welcome to Bunker 101, or what will eventually be Bunker 101. Now Dog here has recently become a billionaire and is now living in the lap of luxury. So now it's back to small projects, all for the benefit of the Rimworld. And while he was busy crashing the market for steel, he has thought of a brilliant idea. Using bicycles for power, and then selling that power to other factions in order to make money. But the thing is, no sane person wants to spend the rest of their life cycling just to power a single light bulb. But what if, instead of an unwilling workforce, we utilize genetically modified, vat-grown clones to the mix? And not just clones of anyone, clones of the man himself. Of course made less than him to prevent any rebellion. So now we have an efficient and willing workforce without any ethical dilemmas? Sign me right up. And there is no better place to start our bunker but in an empty sheet of sea ice filled with absolutely nothing. Now this venture requires a lot of resources, so I am going to be using deep drills for this one. And most of our workforce will now be organic rather than mechanoids. So recycling will be very inefficient for us. Oh, look at that. I've fallen in love with myself twice. Or rather with my clones. So for clarity, I'm going to rename myself Dog Prime. And the thing I learned from years of going to religious schools is that before you love your neighbor, you must first love yourself. And I'm sure this is what they mean by that. Self-love is the best love. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, bicycles. You see, these bicycles are ingenious, but they do have a pretty big problem. A baseline human here, like Crawford, when he's pumping the pedal to the metal, only produces a measly 465 watts of power. And that 465 is only actually functioning whenever he's in the machine itself. And people still have to sleep, eat, breathe, and talk to other people. And if they don't, they might just join a labor union. Like poor old Crawford over there. So instead, we're going to rely on our vat-grown copies of Dog. So we start with 2 of them, and they have been genetically spliced for maximum movement speed, because the power generation actually scales with movement speed. Now pollution stimulus and pollution striding here of course require pollution, and it gives us a consciousness buff and a 50% movement speed increase while in pollution. And then extremely fast runner, armored speed, and unconstrained are basically just movement speed increases. And then jelly production, royal jelly production, foodless, and never sleep make sure that our clones never stop pumping that pedal. And also giving us free nutrition that we need for more clones, because clones consume a lot of food while in the growth vat. And then cold immunity and cold speed for another 50% boost, and also so our clones don't die while in the extreme cold. You have night striding and superior dark vision for movement speed in the dark. We make them dependent on 3 drugs in order to increase efficiency and quell any rebellious thought. We also have psychic bonding in order to make love to yourself, for a consciousness boost of course. And lastly, rapid aging. So we don't have to put our children inside of growth vats so they can keep producing that jelly. Jelly which we will use to grow embryos. And now all of these mutations actually break game rules, but trust me, you're going to need it. Because 465 watts of power is nothing. Planting a few trees, chopping them up, and then burning it for fuel is actually more efficient. Because in this playthrough, we are only building batteries and bicycles. Now on to the building part. Now this is one of the hardest parts of the game because I have to ration my power. And so there's a lot of micromanagement involved. In the sense that I have to manually turn off buildings every time I'm not using them. Plus I have to wait for them to finish their stuff before they start bicycling. And waiting for enough power for these ground-penetrating scanners to work is pretty insane. And Vault 101, Bunker 101, is off to a very slow start. We do manage to scan for some steel, but it's all the way down south. Why didn't I just bring all of my steel from my last gig? Alright, build that long snake of a conduit. And pedal those bicycles, we need power. Man, this is hard. Even after all that genetic splicing, we still only generate 1,500 watts. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about drugs. time to get addicted to Luciferium. Okay, let me remember how to do this. Wake up every 2 days, go juice every day, and Luciferium every 6 days. That sounds about right. There we go, straight to Luciferium. And a marriage. Ah, you poor, unfortunate, dumb idiots. At least you're making me 2000 watts per hour now, while pooping out that delicious royal jelly, so that Dog Prime can pump out all that steel, and we get our first trade ship. Now there will be no crashing of any markets in this game, just some pure old, good-fashioned hard work. Okay, we don't really need our insect jelly right now, let's sell all of them. Should I be selling my wake-up though? Yeah, probably not. Speaking of drugs, it's about time to start producing our own. And for that, we're going to need a lot of psychite and a lot of herbal medicine. Hopefully this doesn't put too much of a strain on our power supply, as each and every one of these basins consume around 200 watts of power by itself. And these buildings also require a lot of components, especially the advanced components. So let's build ourselves a little fabrication factory. This is probably too much of a strain on our energy, but we'll find out soon. And it did drain a lot, we're almost empty now, rolling blackout soon. So it looks like with just 2 people we can maintain energy levels. We need more people. But first, some drugs. I don't want anyone to die from their go juice addiction. That would be a real depressing way to go. And commence drug production. And energy levels still looking okay. But I would feel safer with a bigger, better buffer around. So let's build ourselves some of these large advanced batteries. Now these advanced batteries store much more power than these regular batteries, and they work at 90% efficiency, as compared to the standard 50%. Meaning that 90% of the excess energy is stored instead of just 50. So there's only a 10% wastage. And 40% wasted power is 40% wasted power. Look at these beautiful advanced batteries. So nice. So efficient. Okay, time to start producing clones. For that I need a single gene extractor and 2 growth vats, plus some nutrient paste mixer, because those clones are heavy on consumption. Alright, first dog clone, have your gene extracted. And insert harvested embryo into growth vat. Isn't assisted reproductive technology wonderful? Alright, now we wait. Our embryo finally finished gestating, and we can get to name it. But the default name is Piotr, Peter, the European version of Peter. You know what, we'll keep it. Have a little semblance of individuality and freedom by letting him have his own name. I guess we'll keep you in a growth vat until you become a child, and let's start on another embryo too. We need more pumpers. For the bicycles, I mean. Alright, Piotr is now a child. Now the good thing about children is that they can also cycle. So screw learning and start cycling. Get out of that vat, you clone brat. You've got work to do, and start pooping out that insect jelly too. Aren't children wonderful? Soon after, Mike Adkins is born. Alright, grow up faster, Mike Adkins. We need your labor. Soon you can be like your big brother clone over there. Look at him using his little legs to power our colony. Great job, Peter. And soon you will be a more efficient adult thanks to the faster gene we have implanted in you. Even though Peter is already contributing, I still don't feel too good about our power. So I wanted to expand our buffer. And I pray to God that this doesn't explode, because that explosion would be humongous and would probably kill a lot of people. Hopefully not Dog Prime, even though he can regenerate from it. That would still be painful. Not to mention all the lost profits that will incur. And Mike has now also decided to join the workforce. Nice job, Mike Adkins. More power means more production. And more production means more comfortable things for you. And look at that, another baby is born, baby Miles. And look at that, Peter is busy feeding him. Good job, Peter, you are the employee of the month. And every picture will be a picture of you, 100%. And definitely not your clone brother. Especially when he's doing useless stuff like observing people, instead of cycling on that bicycle machine. Several days pass and we have several more workers available to us. Now 2 of them are only babies, so we still can't use them. Now unfortunately, one of them mutated brown hair. Should we cleanse this aberration? You know what? That's just an incentive for him to work harder than his clone brothers. Let's keep him. We can be a kind capitalist. Alright, now that embryo production is in full swing, it's time for Bionics production. Now advanced bionic legs and synthetic kidneys are now mandatory in this colony. And bionic legs are significantly better than regular human legs. And with increased efficiency of each and every clone, we can eventually start utilizing that power for money. And we are going to achieve that with this wireless power network structure. Now this handy little structure here will transfer your excess power to other faction bases. In exchange, they will pay you money. Now we are ready to export our human labor once again. And no trees were harmed in making this power. So we don't have to deal with those pesky bouncy eco lobbyists. Blah, gross. Oof, that really drained our power. I guess that means we need way more human labor. So let's expand our embryo extraction facilities. And our bicycling facilities too. Soon we will be flooded with workers and we are going to need them all to start pumping that pedal. And put in some floors too and make our base look like a proper facility. And you may be wondering why one of our guys here is covered in a pink block. Now these guys are full adults, but the game gave them a kid body. And so wearing armor bugs them out, because there is no armor texture for kids. This will probably slow down our game, but what can you do?
One eternity later.
We've built ourselves a nice, big, massive battery room here, which should hopefully contain all the power we will ever need. Fortunately for us, not a single bzzz event has happened yet, and so we're safe from massive explosions. Of course. Yes, game, that is a really big explosion. Wow. And in the room where we keep our kids too, you morally bankrupt monster. Look at all these poor innocent souls whose small feet will never touch a pedal. And now they will never know how it feels to be a contributor to society. Alright, no more explosions. We are going to build a massive room of circuit breakers. Now, I am not sure how circuit breakers work, but they probably don't work like this. But anyway, we're gonna fill this to the brim with circuit breakers, which will divert all explosions to this area. No more dead workers. That's how much I care for them. I am a good boss. We are once again close to the 1 million point, which to Dog means a successful project. We are now renting out 5 wireless power networks for somewhere around 42k watts of power, all being produced by the power of human feet. So it turns out your feet are also usable outside of OnlyFans. All you had to do was get yourself genetically modified and get a few bionic upgrades. And get pumped a lot of drugs. Drugs you can safely process with all the synthetic bionics we gave you. And here we have it, 1 million. Another successful project by Dog. Would I ever recommend this project to anyone else? No, this was a horrible idea, but it worked in the end. And if you like this type of videos, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know how Dog became a billionaire, click on the video to the left. And if you want to see more unique ways of getting rich in the Rimworld, click on the video to the right, where Dog recycles pollution. That is all for this video, and thank you so much for watching.